Cryptocurrencies have taken the world by storm, but what happens when a major nation like Russia looks to shut the door on them entirely? There's been news circulating about a total crypto ban in Russia. While a complete ban ain't confirmed, there are talks about stricter regulations. Let's break down what this means. According to recent news, Russia is proposing to limit the circulation of most cryptocurrencies. Russia is banning crypto to reinforce ruble as geological tensions and sanctions spread. Russia will enforce a strict ban on the general circulation of crypto assets such as Bitcoin, allowing only digital financial assets issued within its jurisdiction. This initiative, led by Anatoly Aksakov, chairman of the State Duma Committee on the Financial Market, is part of a broader government effort to control the crypto ecosystem amid rising geological tensions. Russia released this statement in explanation, stating that the forthcoming legislation aims to restrict non-Russian crypto operations to reinforce the ruble's dominance, explaining digital financial assets issued in Russian jurisdiction and digital rubles will be allowed. The need for a ban is due to the fact that today cryptocurrency is a quasi-currency that replaces the ruble in the country, but only the Russian ruble fulfills the mission of the monetary unit, so this decision has been made. It's odds that Russia would decide to ban Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies, especially given their previous interactions with Bitcoin. They even accepted Bitcoin donations totaling $20 million for their conflict with Ukraine. So they were using Bitcoin and cryptocurrency for its intended purpose. But not only that, additionally Putin appears to grasp the value of Bitcoin ahead of Western leaders, as you will see in this interview that a Russian citizen asks Putin, will Russia have its own cryptocurrency? And Putin seems to truly understand what makes Bitcoin valuable.
Первый вопрос, будет ли у России какая-нибудь своя криптовалюта? Второе, будет ли это как-нибудь контролироваться государством? И в-третьих, считаете ли вы, что в ближайшем будущем криптовалюта полностью заменит наши обычные стандартные деньги?
Ну, вопрос, который вам задали, он задан несколько некорректно, потому что своей криптовалюты у России не может быть по определению. Так же, как не может быть своей криптовалюты в любой другой стране. Потому что если мы говорим о криптовалюте, то это то, что выходит за рамки национальных границ.
The main point ain't Russia's potential crypto ban or their stance on Bitcoin. It's Putin's strategy to target the US dollar. Putin aims to bolster the ruble while the US dollar loses strength, aligning with his recent comments on the matter such as those in the Tucker Carlson interview. Pay attention to how he discusses the US dollar considering what we know today.
You know, to use the dollar as a tool of foreign policy struggle is one of the biggest strategic mistakes made by the US political leadership.
There are some ideas floating around that Putin made Bitcoin to hurt America, but there's no proof of that.
You know who's behind Bitcoin? Putin. It's a Ruski conspiracy to fuck up the American economy and the world. It's a long-range plan he started 7-8 years ago. He's going to see the demise of the Western financial world while he's still the head of Russia. And he's already hacked into the brains of all the morons. You.
One thing's for sure, Putin wants Russia to be a big player in the world stage. He probably didn't invent Bitcoin, but everyone knows he's a big fan. So what's the bottom line here? Well, from my perspective, if you have been in cryptocurrency scene for a while, like me, you'll remember how China used to battle Bitcoin every year with bans. I see this Russia news as following a similar pattern. What's your take on Russia's move to ban crypto? Do you see it the same way I do, or perhaps you have a different perspective, or maybe you align with Michael Saylor's viewpoint that Bitcoin is still at a point where everybody in the world needs it. Nobody in the world can stop it and almost nobody understands it. 10 years ago it was Apple and Amazon, today it's Bitcoin.
The best idea, if you want to make 10 extra money, is you buy something that everybody in the world needs, nobody in the world can stop, and almost nobody understands.
Perfect.
Okay, so in 2010, that was Amazon, or that was Apple, or that was Facebook or Google. These are all dominant digital networks that everybody in the world needed, that nobody could stop. But if you'd ask the typical mainstream investor, is this a good investment? They would all say, oh, it's very scary, it's overvalued, Amazon doesn't make money, you know, mobile phones used to cost $50. You know, it's like Apple's going to sell an iPhone for $600. They said it's too expensive. The iPhone $600 is too expensive. Nokia will sell me one for $30. They said Apple's going to go to $30. And of course, what happened is Apple went to $1,500.
Yes.
And so the conventional wisdom was against these big tech companies.
When a country falters, the next one comes in strong and keeps the momentum going. Bitcoin ETFs coming to Australia. This news was first broken by Bloomberg, and the info is as follows. Australia gearing up for major Bitcoin ETF rollouts in 2024. These are spot Bitcoin ETFs. Australia, one of their largest and most prominent securities exchanges, has just revealed that they are strongly considering approving their first spot Bitcoin ETFs by as soon as the end of this year. This happens in 2024. Now, even bigger news, ETF issuers, some of the biggest in the game, are backing them. ETF issuers like BetaShares and VanEck leading the charge for Bitcoin ETF approvals in Australia. These two issuers in their corner at the very start is a big deal. Now, this is a bullish metric, and the same can be true about the American market. So consider this. Australia's 2.3 trillion pension sector could be a significant driver of demand for these new ETFs. Therefore, the pension sector in both the US and Australia, along with any other region introducing spot Bitcoin ETFs, will significantly boost demand for Bitcoin. Michael Saylor explains why this is crucial. Consequently, Bitcoin is set to thrive. Listen.
It's the first time in human history that we created a commodity with a hard supply. Every money in history, glass beads and bales of tobacco and stone coins and copper tokens and paper currency and cigarettes and fiat currency, all of those things were uncapped. Every other commodity, soybeans and oil and natural gas and gold and silver, uncapped. We can create more of them. Land, timber, real estate. You can even extract land from the sea. You can create more of it. Bitcoin is the one commodity that you can buy and you can hold where it is absolutely capped, 21 million. So if the price goes up by a factor of 100, the supply is invariant. There is no other commodity where the supply is invariant to the demand or to the price. That makes it perfect money. It makes it the best store of value asset. Most other commodities are much worse. If a commodity has a stock to flow ratio of 1 and you produce, twice as much, or the equivalent supply every year, it's not going to be good money. If the stock to flow is 50, it might be better money if you only inflate the supply by 2% a year, like gold. But it's still not great because every 30 years you cut your money in half if you inflate 2% a year. So this leap from the idea that there should be a 2% inflation rate to the idea that there should be a 0% inflation rate, that's a profound idea.
It's important to note that Australia plans to introduce Ethereum spot ETFs alongside Bitcoin. And many don't realize the impact of pension funds in this sector, or that some major ETF buyers like wirehouses haven't joined yet, as Katie Wood has pointed out about this.
In our business, what's interesting is the wirehouses which dominate our customers. So Morgan Stanley, all the advisors at these wirehouses, Morgan Stanley, UBS, Merrill Lynch at B of A, Wells Fargo, not one of them has approved Bitcoin on its platform. That hasn't even happened yet. And those are our primary clients. When that happens,
explosion.
There is a ton happening in the cryptocurrency at the moment. It's a positive sign with widespread interest and both acceptance and skepticism. 2024 is shaping up to be a quite complex year. So subscribe to our channel, like the video, and join us in this adventure. We'll keep you informed on crypto and blockchain technologies. Thanks for watching.